hello all. Thank you to Diane in the library. Thank you to Lions Club and GTV for putting this on. And thank you to the custodians for all the work that they have done and will continue to do later. I'm Ginny McKinnon. I'm a lifetime resident of Goffstown. I'm married to Mike McKinnon, and we have 3 children and 3 grandchildren, and we all attend Goffstown schools. I'm a recently retired pediatric nurse with many years of working with children and families. My last years of working were with home nursing and taking students to school who wouldn't be able to attend unless they had an RN coming with them and doing their care. This gave me a chance to see a lot about families and how they deal with schools and how that affects schools. My family has always held education as a priority. My 2 daughters are teachers, my 2 sisters are teachers, and also 3 nurses. I started my volunteer work in Goffstown when my daughter was 4 in the Maple Avenue Library that the Goffstown Mothers Club had started, so that I could familiarize myself with the schools that my children would be attending. Ongoing volunteering resulted in pursuing a seat on the school board, which led I have taken this responsibility and time commitment seriously, and I've contributed to it with success. I have been on the PNC, the CNE, PNC, the area, the stipend, the negotiation committee, and over time. My interests are history, reading, genealogy. I'm a member of the New Boston DAR, the Goffstown Historical Society, the New Boston Historical Society, an honorary Goffstown Mothers Club member, a New Vestry volunteer. I contribute to PBS for excellent children programming and to various historical museums. I am an independent candidate. I'm a moderate candidate, and I make my decisions for considering all the needs of all the students involved. I don't have an agenda to follow in my voting decisions. Excuse me. It's hard to talk when your mouth's stuck together. There was one situation that we had where there was a trip going to Italy for students. And this happens every other year where there's one trip and then there's another trip, and students and their families know about it. They're very excited about it, and they save up for it. And so there was a vote. We always have to vote because it's a trip out of the country. And it happened that it was just after COVID, so there was a vaccine requirement to it. There was never a vaccine requirement except for you needed a vaccine to get into the country of Italy and the museums and everything else that the students would be doing. So the company, in this case, instituted a vaccine requirement. And so some of the people on the board said no to this trip. And it concerned me because you really have to, if you're in this position, you have to vote for the best things for the students, not your own personal agenda. So I think that's important for people to realize when you're voting. Like, if you want the things to happen for all of the kids in your school and not just these kids or these kids, you have to take that into consideration when you're voting. Boards are more effective when they're composed of people of various strengths, ability, and experiences to be effective. I bring historical perspective to both the town and the school to the group. This is awful helpful in discussions and in thinking out of the box for solutions. I support parents' rights. The opt-out policy has always been in place, and I think it's a good policy. I'm interested in listening to parents' concerns and respectfully refer them to who can assist them per policy and procedure. Oop, I'm up. I'm sorry. I could gab all night, and I'm sorry. You can always catch up with me. I will be having something on Facebook, and I'll be glad to speak to you. I'm usually in Sully's also. So I would be more than glad to speak with you and answer any questions. I've been on the school board for quite a few years, and I think we've done a really good job in improving our education in Goffstown. People want to move here because we have good education here, so I'll give myself a pat.